Mr. C. Nice to meet you, Mr. Bakke.
Nice to meet you.
So tell me more about your case.
I'm a 35-year-old white male who was rejected from the medical school of UC Davis twice
Why would you say you were rejected twice?
because they have some spots that are reserved for minorities.
How many spots are those?
16
16
out
out
of
of how
100.
many? 100, that's a large amount. 16%. So do you know for a fact that you had a higher grade than them, or what was the reasoning
Well,
behind
there
you
were
being rejected?
There were some of the minorities that did get accepted had lower scores than I did. I had
Okay.
a 3.54 GPA, and I scored high test scores in science and math.
Well, I will fight your case to my best. We will win, okay?
Hello, Your Honor. My name is Satiati, and I will be defending the Regents of the University of California.
Hello, Your Honor. My name is Mr. Singh, and I'm here on behalf of Alan Bakke. Thank you. Hello, Your Honor. I am Mr. Singh. I am here on behalf of my client, Alan Bakke. Alan Bakke has applied to the University of California, Davis twice. This is a medical school. He is going there if he was accepted as a graduate student in the medical field for a doctorate. So behind the reasoning why he was rejected twice was the school had reserved 16% of its chairs for minorities. So these minorities would include African Americans, Native Americans, Mexicans. So what kind of made this case a little more intriguing was the way my client was treated while he was applying. So the kids that were applying as a minority, it was much more easier for them to get into the school. So 16% out of 100 kids that were open, it was 16 seats reserved especially for these kids. They were able to get into the schools much easier with a lower GPA 3.0 grade point average, and their SAT and MCAT scores were much more lower. My client had an overall GPA of 3.50, and he had very high test scores, so he was rejected not only once but twice. And it is wrong to testify against someone and not include them in a school that they want to go to because they are the average white male. They are racially discriminating my client by making him feel because he is in a specific group, he has to have a higher achievement rate than people who can get in much more easier. And this is not just his first time, it is also his second time. Thank you very much.
Action. Mr. Singh is being irrational because his main argument was that his client, Alan Bakke, was prevented from going to the medical school of UC Davis because of their affirmative action policy. Their policy said that they were to reserve 16% of their seats to minority students. 16% of their seats is only 16 spots. He had 84 other seats he could have filled, but they didn't select him because of unrelated circumstances. He claims that was unfair that the criteria for the minorities were lower, but that's because they wanted to encourage a more diverse campus. They wanted to encourage more minorities. This policy was made to admit more educationally and economically disadvantaged minorities. It was made under the Affirmation Act, which was created in 1961, and it was to favor in those who tended to suffer from discrimination educationally and employment-wise.
Okay, that doesn't make sense.
Order. The Supreme Court, in a 5-4 decision written by Justice Louis Franklin Powell, ruled that a state may constitutionally consider race as a factor in its university admissions to promote educational diversity, but only if considered alongside other factors and on a case-by-case basis. California's use of racial quotas in this case, however, did not meet those requirements and violated the Constitution's Equal Protection Clause, which forbids a state from denying to any persons with jurisdictions the equal protection of the law. The court held that the medical school racially discriminated against whites because it excluded them from 16 out of 100 spots solely by virtue of their race. The fact that blacks have historically been discriminated against more than whites was irrelevant in this case, because racial quota systems, whenever applied against white or blacks, are always odious to free people whose institutions are founded upon and doctrine of equality. Indeed, because the school's quota was designed to redress past discrimination against racial minorities, the court stated it was intended to for one group for no other reason other than race or ethnic origin. Thus, the court ruled that the school's quota system must be rejected and racially invalid under the Equal Protection Clause. Therefore, the court is in favor of Alan Bakke.